Yeah, well, I think it goes for all the characters, all sort of growing up now, and I suppose he's a teenager now, and he's going through some stuff a bit different this time, like the whole girl thing, like the whole with the Yule Ball, they have to get partners and that for that, and they find that quite difficult, and there's a lot of stuff like that. I mean, like, he's a lot more moody as well, like you see him sort of argue with Harry quite a lot.
Yeah, they have that big falling out, don't they?
They do, yeah.
What's that about? What happens there?
Well, I think that happens quite early on. They sort of have a bit of a clash, because I think Ron just gets a bit jealous, I think, because again, he's grown up a bit, and I think he just sort of feels like Harry's always sort of the hero, and Ron's always sort of like second best and that. But no, I mean, they make up in the end, and that's why. He doesn't have a really good time there, actually. To start off, he's got these horrible costume I had to wear, and it just sort of goes down from there, really. I mean, I think he's very jealous of sort of Hermione, because obviously she takes out Crumb, who's like one of his heroes anyway, and yeah, I think he's just a bit. I mean, hence his attitude throughout the whole ball. I mean, he didn't dance at all, which is something that I was quite pleased with, but he was pretty miserable throughout the whole thing. He was always my favourite character when I was reading the books and that, and always felt a few things in common with him, sort of like we've both got big families, both got ginger hair, and those sort of things, really. And no, I mean, I'm really enjoying playing him. Yeah, he's the first British director, and that made some sort of difference. And I think it's quite weird having a new director each time, really, because I know you get a little bit nervous because you don't really know what to expect. But Mike, he was great. He was a really good laugh and really easy to talk to. And
what sort of advice did he have for you, or did he? How did he help you?
He was just helpful and sort of everywhere. But that's the one thing he did which was different to the others. He sort of set up just about a couple of weeks before we started filming. He set up this sort of workshop thing, and it was like a few days. We would just do like improvisations and sort of games, and that was like a drama lesson, really. And that was something different that we'd never done before. The underwater stuff, that was quite intense. I know for Dan, he had to do a lot of diving, and yeah, it looked pretty tough. I mean, we all had these sort of diving training, because in the end I didn't do much sort of underwater stuff, but it was still pretty. I mean, I'm not a great swimmer anyway, and that was quite a good experience. Triwizard Tournament is a sort of like an event set up with a few schools around the wizard world, I suppose, and each school has to sort of vote out. You have to put your name to this goblet, and there's sort of one champion from each school, and they just have to do these really sort of dangerous tasks to win a trophy at the end. And yeah, it's basically that, really. And some of they're really sort of dangerous tasks. I mean, they're really sort of some of them could be really sort of fatal, like yeah. I mean, we're getting more used to it, because I mean, in all these films, there's some form of special effect. We sort of have to react with something that's not there, and yeah, you sort of get used to it. But it's quite good seeing the final film with all the special effects added in, because that's something you don't actually get to see when you're making it.
What was your first impression when you saw the final cut, as it were?
Oh yeah, I thought it was really good. A real sort of I think they get better as they go along, and this is definitely, it's got everything, really.